Okay, let's take a look at section 13.1, angle relationships. We're going to be taking a look at three different angle relationships in this section, those being complementary angles, supplementary angles, and then vertical angles, which are on the next page. So the first two we're going to take a look at are complementary and supplementary. Complementary angles are two angles that add together to total 90. So that add to total 90. Alright, so two angles, when we put them next to each other, they total up to be 90 degrees. Would be something like this. If I have one angle that is maybe 40 degrees, and then I have another angle that is 50 degrees, if I were to, and I could visually like mesh these and combine them, I would get something that would look like this. This would be my 40-degree angle, this would be my 50-degree angle, but together, two angles, together the total up to be 90. So these would be complementary angles. This angle and this angle come together to give me a total of 90 degrees. That's what complementary angles are. Now supplementary angles, very similarly, two angles, but they don't total 90, they total 180. So two angles that total, or that add to total 180 degrees. So in that case, that would be something, let's block this off because that's what we just did. That would be something like if we had one angle that was an acute angle, maybe this one was, I don't know, 30 degrees. And then I had another angle and it was 150 degrees. It was an obtuse angle. If I meshed these two together, I would get one that looked, this would be my first one coming down here, 30 degrees. This is my second one, 150 degrees, but together they make one big line, 180 degrees. This is an example of supplementary angles. These two angles total to give us 180 degrees. Notice 180 degrees is actually a straight line. And if we think about what we know, let's say we just had a right angle. One angle is just a right angle. When you have two or more that total 90, that's when you have complementary. But let's say we have this one angle that's a right angle. Now if I put if I extend that, so I have one that's a right angle, this is obviously also going to be a right angle. Well then 90 plus 90 gives us a total of 180 degrees. So any 180 degree angle, so to say, is really just a straight line. That's what that's what a line always is, 180 degrees. So this is where we stand here. So we have two different angles, complementary total 90, supplementary total 180. Now in class we talk about a bunch of different ways of remembering that, so you keep it straight which is which. A couple of the ones that really stood out is nice like little methods of remembering it. Someone said the second letter in complementary is O, the second number in 90 is 0, so O and O, 0, 0. Here is the third one, so it doesn't work there. Someone else said there's 1 P in complementary, so it's 90, 2 P's in supplementary, so it's double. That one works as long as you know how to spell the two. Another one is that C comes first in the alphabet, so that's the 90. S comes second, so that's why supplementary refers to 180 degrees. People said supplementary starts with S, straight line starts with S. So there's a number, and I'm sure you could come up with some on your own too, ways of remembering, but you need to know that complementary are two angles that add to give us 90, supplementary two angles that add to give us 180. So if we look at this visual here, I'm going to mark in that this is a right angle. If we go ahead, so that's B there, that's letter B, we want to list our complementary angles. This is going to be my symbol for angle, so you don't think it's an L. My complementary angles are the angles that total to give me 90 degrees. So in this case, this angle right here, BEC, angle BEC, and angle CED, this angle right in here, those two are complementary. They total up to give us 90 degrees. Complementary angles total give us 90. So these two angles when put together total 90 degrees because I made that 90 degree angle there. Notice I have to use three letters because if I just say angle B, well B isn't an angle, it's that point up there. If I just say angle E, well that could be this whole line, it could be just this right angle, it could be that right, it could be a number of things. So you have to specify whenever you have like a joint angle that's being shared. Okay? Now let's take a look at supplementary. Let's list our supplementary options. Supplementary angles. Well, we have BEA, that's this piece right here. So we have angle BEA. And then we also have angle BED. We have to do that whole thing so that the total, when we put them together, just like we saw over there to the right, equals 180 degrees. That's an option. Another option would be not B. How about CEA, and then CED, angle CED. If you get stuck with this, because these are kind of abstract with just the letters, I would say redraw this on your paper and cross things out, and that's what we kind of do in class. We like hide some of these lines so that there's not so much going on. But draw it, just giving the angles that I'm showing you here, like draw angle BEA, and then next to it draw angle BED, and you'll see that together they form a straight line. Or then draw angle CEA, this obtuse angle, it's right here. And then next to it draw angle CED, which is this little one. And you'll see when you put those together also they make a straight line. So that's how we get our supplementary angles. So let's try example 1. In quadrilateral ABCD, identify all pairs of complementary angles and supplementary angles. Complementary total 90 degrees. So we're going to look. Okay, there's no joint angles being shared. So if I'm referencing angle A, I can just say angle A, angle B, angle C. I don't need to use these 3 letters in this case because this is the only angle that would refer to angle A. Nothing else is sharing that. If I wanted to, though, I could use like angle DAB with my vertex being the middle one, but that's another story. Anyways, complementary angles total 90 degrees. So we have this one's 60, this one's 30. Those two angles are complementary, angle A and angle D, because the total of those is 90 degrees. And I look through it, but unfortunately there's nothing else that's 90, so that's where we have to stop. Now let's make a list of supplementary angles. We have angle B and angle A. 120 plus 60 is 180, so that's an option. Angle B and angle A. We also have angle C and angle D. 150 plus 30. Angle C and angle D. And if we look, there's no other combos. 120 and 150 is 270, that's no good. And 60 and 90, we already did. Those are our complementary angles. So that's it. We've labeled them all. Alright, example 2. Tell whether the angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. With these ones, they're giving us the angle measurements. Now we could go out and actually take a protractor and draw them, but all we really are looking to see is whether they total 90, 180, or neither of those. So this M here stands for the measure of. The measure of angle 1 is 63 degrees. The measure of angle 2 is 27 degrees. That's what that stands for. So I'm going to add up my measures. 6, 7, 8, 9. I find that these two angles, when totaled, come to 90 degrees. And that makes them complementary angles. Letter B. Measure of angle 3 is 146. Measure of angle 4 is just 44. I add those. 4 is 8, 9. I get 190 degrees. That falls under the neither category. Those are neither supplementary nor complementary. It has to be exactly 90 or exactly 180. And the last one, letter C. Measure of angle 5 is 95 degrees, and measure of angle 6 is 85 degrees. I'm going to add them up. 9, 10. Oh, I got 180. We have supplementary angles. Whew, long word. All right, let's take a look at the next page.